The tampon king gets back in the ring. I speak of former VP nominee Tim Walz. He joined Beto O'Rourke at a Texas town hall last night, and the estrogen levels were enough to give Chuck Norris menstrual cramps. I wonder, is our strength our diversity?
Our strength is our diversity. We've been talking about this for years as a country of immigrants, and we let them define the issue on immigration. We let them define the issue on DNI.
But I'm thinking there's only one explanation for Tim spewing nonsense like this. Time of the month.
What happens when a smug TV host meets a governor who leads like he's looking for his Prius with a dead GPS? You get Greg Gutfeld roasting Tim Walz like a tofu balloon at a Texas barbecue. From failed policies to red tape ballet, Gutfeld goes full throttle, no filter, no mercy. It's political comedy scorched to perfection, and somehow still hotter than Walz's frozen poll numbers.
Walz continues to be criticized for embellishing his rank in service. After it came out over the weekend, he once claimed to be an official bikini inspector. Walz's direct superior in the National Guard says Walz knew his unit was about to deploy to Iraq and went behind the back of his superior officer to resign. When reached for comment, Walz yelled, "Hey, look over there!" and then ran away. Although Walz's actions look bad to veterans, Dems say these revelations could really help him win the coward vote.
If leadership were a buffet, Tim Walz would be the sad, cold mashed potatoes, unwanted, flavorless, and always mysteriously on your plate. Enter Gutfeld, swinging sarcasm like a chainsaw in a dynamite store, turning Walz's weak sauce into comedy gold.
He exploited his military background to cover up his crime. He said it was related to his service and that he actually wasn't drunk. He just misheard the instructions and the drunk test. He blew a super high level. It was like, 0.2, driving 100 miles an hour. And then when he's running for office, he said he wasn't drunk. I mean, this guy has creep written all over. He created a snitch line, but lies about his personal infractions. He doesn't even own up to it. This is a guy who pushes a hoax about sex on a couch. And then the closer you look at him, he's a creepy cop.
Watching Walz govern is like watching a substitute teacher try to calm a classroom of raccoons on espresso. He talks like he found leadership for dummies in a clearance bin and made it his personal constitution. His policies. A masterclass, if you're majoring in unintended consequences.
Recently, Donald Trump's executive order to make it more difficult, specifically to women, trying to make it more difficult for women to be able to vote. We see one of the first things they do is try and restrict the vote.
Wait, so Trump is making it more difficult for women to vote? How so? Math problems? But it's further proof that the most dangerous thing for a leftist is a follow-up question, which is why you never hear any. But I guess questioning elections is okay now. But the best moment came when Walz forgot who he is.
Gutfeld didn't even need to try. Roasting Walz is like slam dunking on a guy in Crocs during a job interview, while blindfolded. Walz brought a kazoo and a vision board titled Feelings. Gutfeld brought napalm and a MIC drop.
It's a strange...
Oh, he's strange.
He is strange. Him and I are the same age. How does he look so much younger?
No, he's a strange guy.
Strange.
He called up years ago. I was in the White House, and he said, "My house is being surrounded by people with American flags." I said, "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" He said, "I think they're going to attack me." This was during the riots and everything else. They were MAGA people. They like the American flag, all right? And they also had Trump. And I said, "How do you know?" There were about 15,000, He said, "Could you put out a word like that? I'm your friend." I don't even know him, but that's the only time I ever spoke to him. And if you look back long ago, tweets before Truth, tweets long ago, I put out a statement. He's a good man, the governor. He's on our side. I didn't know him, but I didn't want him to get hurt. And everybody put down their flags and they left. Yes. He said it was a miracle. He said it was a miracle.
Faced with inflation, layoffs, and businesses sprinting away, Walz went full economist and thought, let's just tax more stuff. Tax the air, tax smiling, tax even thinking about South Dakota. Gutfeld shredded his economic genius like a raccoon in a recycling bin, yelling, "Why does California look responsible now?"
The same bad cocaine, but Kamala can't speak, he can't speak, Biden was so high he couldn't remember anything. Like, this is literally the dumbest administration of all time. Why is he talking?
It really is the ultimate clown show, and I said this in the pod. He's a clown without a circus. He's
doesn't even need makeup.
He's roaming the terrain. Is there some carnival that I can work for? Yeah. I'll wash your windows.
He's a rogue clown.
Yes.
Who is just an inconsequential footnote to vice presidential history.
Yes.
No one will remember his name on trivia night, and that's going to be in 3 months from.
Gutfeld wasn't joking. He held up a map of Minnesota with "Here be carjackings" scrawled across the Twin Cities. Walz's crime plan? More cop energy with a kazoo and clipboard. If he ran Homeland Security, we'd be brushing up on Russian vocabulary by Friday.
Especially talking about these old white guys who seem to disappoint us on a regular basis in this country.
Dude. You're an old white guy. And you're right, you are a huge disappointment. I guess hating himself is the first thing he's nailed correctly. Because Waltz saying old white men suck isn't a political stance, it's his confession. Waltz calling people old and white is like Maxine Waters making fun of someone for shopping at Wigs R Us. He wants to execute more DEI policies, and Trump wants to execute murderous gang members. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Can you see the...
During COVID, Walz behaved like he was auditioning for Dictator Idol. Churches closed, small businesses shut, protests spiritually essential, apparently. Gutfeld nailed it. It wasn't health policy, it was theater, and Walz was the drama queen with a clipboard.
Waltz lost, but one of them, Politico says, is like Waltz's wide eyes showed his passion and emotional intensity. Can we show that? There is his wide eyes. That humans would widen their eyes to convey that danger is close. What emotion are you getting from that? Sorry. Still. That was every...
Irony overload. Giving Walz a surplus is like handing a toddler your credit card and saying just get the essentials. Suddenly you're paying for equity workshops, inspirational murals, and permit paperwork that needs a decoder ring. Gutfeld called it Soviet Minnesota. More branding, less functioning.
Tim Walz vomits more nonsense.
I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator. It's because he is. It's because he is. Maybe it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the out of him back. This is a weak, cruel man that takes it out and punches down on people.
Wow. Oh. Jamie.
What a
Painful,
douchebag,
huh?
Greg. That was absolutely painful. He was the keynote speaker at this conference. Can you imagine having to watch more of that?
Then there's his California crush. Walz watches California burn and says, let's copy that, but colder. Gutfeld torched him. If Newsom is a Bond villain with hair gel, Walz is the B-movie backup who can't remember his lines, in Latin.
One of the media was one of sadness, not reporting Waltz's loss, but mourning it. Now, the truth is that a VP debate is like a colonoscopy. It's important and necessary, but that doesn't mean you want to watch it.
Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
Even a deer in the headlights is screaming, "Get the out of the way, dude!" It's no wonder they don't do follow-up questions with Democrats. They're like the top layer of day-old skimpy bean dip. What's underneath? You don't want to see.
Bullet train dreams. Walz pitched a rail project that might be finished when dinosaurs return. Meanwhile, the roads look like a pothole documentary. Gutfeld's eye roll registered on the Richter scale. Let's dump billions into Elon Musk fan fiction because why fix what's broken?
While Kamala's VP, Tim Walz, is being accused of lying about his rank, which is called stolen valor. But in Walz's defense in Minneapolis, stealing is legal. But misrepresenting your past for political gain? I don't see that as a problem, said one woman.
Under pressure, Walz doesn't lead. He pirouettes like a Red Bull-fueled ballerina. Ask him about crime. He starts on bike lanes. Mention the economy. Suddenly, it's all about inclusive parking. Gutfeld said it best. Walz is like a magic 8-ball in orthopedic shoes. Shake him, and all you get is glittery nonsense.
The day, and he's got a very weird way of greeting his wife of 30 years. Roll it. I want to see this in slow motion. You'll see Walz extends his hand to his wife. She grabs it. They shake. He pulls her close and then goes in for that non-friction hug, all the while still shaking her hand. I wish there was a word to describe that. Oh, yeah, weird. I've seen warmer embraces between Chris Christie and a salad.
And then there's rural Minnesota, desperate for leadership that understands tractors, potlucks, and paychecks. Instead, they got Walz, a kombucha-chugging, TED Talk-quoting technocrat who thinks the state ends where the last bike lane does. Gutfeld's final blow. Walz is the IKEA governor, comes with missing screws, unclear instructions, and leaves you crying beside a crooked mess that somehow cost you double.